So will you
Okay,
let me
well,
read first? Yeah?
welcome to another reading of Mehera-Meher. We're on page 176, and I'll just repeat last week's paragraph, the final paragraph. Baba's 63rd birthday was celebrated on the 25th. Mani played Happy Birthday on the record player and took a photo. Yellow roses filled a vase on the table, and Baba's birthday cake held 7 candles. After the second accident, Mara garlanded Baba every birthday, not in his bedroom, but in the dining room. Baba kissed her on the cheek, and she returned the kiss. Others then kissed him, also on the cheek. Despite the festive occasion, Mara felt quite disconsolate that year. Baba
Can you
couldn't
make the text bigger, please?
Baba couldn't walk, she explained tearfully. Still, he was smiling.
Thank you.
To change the subject, the author asked, "Did you ever give Baba a birthday present?" "What to give him?" she replied. "Baba has everything. Do you know what my birthday gift to him was? My birthday kiss." The side notes say the 78 RPM phonograph record features a male crooner from the novelty players and a long orchestral passage in between these two verses. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my darling. Happy birthday to you. From old friends and new, may good luck go with you and happiness too. The record was played on Mara's birthday as well. In Satara, Baba had told Mara to do a bit of gardening, and they brought some bougainvilleas and other plants for the garden when they moved back to Merazad. We planted fruit trees and enlarged the compound from the hedge Walu had planted, Mara elaborated. We started growing fruit trees. We took cuttings of plants I liked at Satara and brought them to Merazad. Many trees came from there. Sheba was also brought from Satara by train on 5 April. She was kept in Mondley Hall, which was then a stable with a partially brick floor. Another groom was hired to look after her. At Merzad, after 1948, Baba had always slept in a small bedroom on the second floor of the main house. Since returning from Pune, however, Baba was using the bedroom downstairs. He had stayed there once before for a few days prior to his trip to the West in 1952, when he had had an adverse reaction to a vaccination. This time, because of his injury, he stayed downstairs for several months. Despite his injuries, Baba traveled to Sikori and Pune in March to give darshan to his lovers. During the first few months of Baba's recovery at Meherzad, Mara pushed him to the gate in a wheelchair every morning. And the sidebar says, Mani, in a letter to Billy Eaton, dated 23 February 1957, quote, Beloved doesn't wear the sadra during this time, as it would be cumbersome in bed. And when he sits on the wheelchair, wears the coat buttoned at the back. And what's more, Baba Baby wears a nappy, a big scarf tied like a nappy so that it covers his legs like a pair of short shorts. Gradually, he started weight bearing with the help of crutches. Mani wrote to Irene in April, "It's nice to be here at Pimplegown after the hectic 2 months at Pune. Pune has several advantages, as we could call Dr. Chatterjee any time. Whereas here, Baba has to go to Nagar for x rays, which Don takes to Pune. In actual walking, Baba has been making good progress in spite of the pain. Don is amazed and says anybody else, even younger, could not have done it. It's hot here, even now. Poor darling Baba, for him it is worse, with lying on the bed on a cotton mattress for many hours. Baba goes over to the gate every morning with elbow length crutches Don got in Geneva. They're wonderful. Mehera on one side, Goher on the other, me holding the umbrella, and Rano with the chair in case Baba wishes to sit down. From the gate, the Mandali take over. March and April are oppressively hot at Meherazad, and Baba was uncomfortable. Because his hip was badly injured, Mehera explained, Baba could not move around. He couldn't sit comfortably in a chair, so we put soft cushions on Baba's cot. The cushions were hot. Baba would perspire. He looked so helpless. Sometimes he wiped off the perspiration himself. Sometimes I brought him a dry sadra for him to change. We wondered what to do. When you are feeling hot, you change your position. You get up. You walk around. You fan yourself. But Baba was so helpless in that way. Baba had to be seated all the time. He was just sitting there helpless, perspiring and perspiring. In an attempt to mitigate Baba's discomfort to some degree, a minor change in his wardrobe was effected. In the early years, Baba had worn chadis, those are boxer shorts, under his sadra, and then switched to longer silk lengas. After the Satara accident, Mehera cut the lengas and Baba began wearing knee-length chadis again, which were more comfortable now that he was less mobile. Because of the heat, Baba agreed to return to Pune for the summer and left on Thursday, 18 April, with Mehera, Mani, Meru, and Goher. Erch's cousin, Dadi Karawala, arranged accommodations at his cottage in Ganeshkind Gardens. There were a few cottages in a row with a small front garden, Mehera recalled. Ours was comfortable, with a front room, with a small front garden, Mehera recalled. Ours was comfortable with a front room, two small bedrooms, a kitchen, and two bathing rooms. The toilet was outside. The front room was larger, but there was only a little furniture, a writing table, a bed. Goher slept here, a couch, sofa, seat for Baba, and another chair. Baba's room had a nice bed and a table for his things. Our room had good beds too. Meru slept on the veranda, which was screened with lattice work. There were taps at back for washing our clothes. At the back was also a big mango tree and a rose bush. There was a swing tied to the mango tree. It was very lovely. Everything was nice. We liked the place very much and were comfortable there. Sidebar says, because Dadi's cottage was too small to accommodate everyone, Nadja and Rano remained at Meherazad and then stayed at Bindra House to help with Baba and the Mondelez meals. Although fruit trees surrounded their cottage because the property belonged to a government agency, Dottie told them not to pick up any fruit, even if it had fallen from the trees and was on the ground. It was tempting, Mara said. It was mango season, and there were fresh mangoes and guavas aplenty. Once, strong winds knocked mangoes from the tree onto our roof. We collected these green mangoes and sent them to Bindra House. Dadi stayed with one of his friends, while Baba and the women used his cottage. But Don, Erich, Bao, and Savak were at Ganeshkind in another cottage at the far end. Since Don said that Baba should walk for exercise, every morning Baba made his way slowly down a straight and shady path to the other cottage to be with the Mandalay. He returned by car. Baba told Mara and the women to go for walks while he was with the Mandalay. The women dutifully put on hats or scarves against the summer sun and set out to explore the neighborhood. Ganeshkind is a scenic area of the city. One morning, they ventured to the nearby river. Another day, they visited Spicer College and a poultry farm, where a European woman gave them a tour of the garden. In the evenings, they went for drives with Baba. Would you like to read now, Mikal? Unmute first.
Yeah, okay. That's beautiful, beautiful text. They saw a memorable film in Pune also. Baba's brother, Jal, told Baba that there was a good film showing which the girls would enjoy. It was an Indian comedy, Miss Mary. Baba returned to their cottage and said that Jal wanted to take them to see this picture. They usually never went to Hindi films, preferring English ones, but they agreed. Even at that time, Baba wanted us to go to the pictures and enjoy ourselves, Mira reflected. It was so sweet of Baba. After he had eaten supper, the Mandali were with him. We could not go inside his room, so we were free to go to the cinema. She and the others enjoyed this film immensely. Miss Mary, states 1957, stars Kishore Kumar and Meena Kumari. Meals for Baba and the women were being prepared and sent by Erich's family at Bindra House. Baba made a strange request at the time. Every evening, he wanted okra served. This was odd, because normally not only did Baba not want the same dish night after night, but he also had never been particularly fond of okra. It had to be specially prepared by Gamai, Mira explained, so as not to be slimy, whole pieces, not cut. She knew how to do it with a little bit of soft mutton in it and some gravy, not dry. Baba's food came separately in bowls with lids and a cloth tied around it for safety to keep out dust. Baba didn't usually like bendi okra. We couldn't believe our eyes that for days Baba was eating steamed bendi with bread or only bendi in the evenings. In those days, Baba never ate chapatis. In the afternoon, he had dal or curry with rice. Baba had once commented to the Mandali in 1928, okra is good for people with waist pain. Probably had waist pain because that he ordered that all the time. Something else unusual happened during their stay at Ganeshkind, which taught them an important lesson. There is a custom in India when someone is unwell to wave an egg in front of the person and then discard it. People believe it helps absorb and remove the evil influence at work, to help good wishes prevail over the person so that they get well or keep well. Mary elaborated. An egg is held by the well-wisher, circled around the head of the recipient of these wishes, and then discarded on the ground near them. It is believed that it helps remove any evil influence surrounding them. Because of Baba's recent injury and continued pain, Khorshid arrived from Bombay for a day and brought a few eggs for this purpose. She gave the eggs to Mera, advising her to wave them in front of Baba when she had the chance, in hopes of relieving parts of his suffering. Khorshid departed in the afternoon, and Mera kept the eggs on the shelf in her bedroom where it was cooler. On a side note, a coconut is used in a similar way on auspicious occasions, banging it on the ground to break it to bring good luck. Baba had dinner at 4:30 p.m. Then had something then and sometimes oh sorry. Baba had dinner at 4:30 p.m. Then and sometimes asked for a little more at 5:30 or 6 before retiring. After Baba had gone to his room for the night, the women ate at 7 p.m. That day, however, Baba ate later than usual, at 6. By 8 o'clock, they thought Baba would not ask for any more food. Besides, only a tiny bit of okra was left with a few pieces of mutton, since they did not have a refrigerator, and it would spoil by the next day if it were not consumed. The women shared the okra as prasad. Baba had eaten well already, so why not? 10 minutes after they had it, Baba sent word to Jal, who was a night watch, that he wanted the leftover okra from his dinner. We felt so upset, Mera recounted. Our food was not the food Baba would like. It was squash or something. Anyway, there wasn't much there. We told Baba what we had done. I told Goher I had a couple of eggs, and to ask Baba if we should prepare those for him. Baba said yes. Kosher eggs became useful. We quickly scrambled them with a little butter and salt, and Baba was happy. Baba was much amused when he heard what had happened. From that day on, he kept the food till the morning. We kept the food till the morning, even if it spoiled. We learned our lesson. The climate in Pune was not much of an improvement over Ahmednagar. After staying in Ganeshkit for a week, one hot afternoon, they were sitting with Baba in the drawing room when Mera noticed that Baba looked particularly uncomfortable. What about that Gur Prasad bungalow? She whispered to her. Couldn't we ask for it again? The Rani of Baroda had let them use the palace once before in 1951 when they had come to Pune from Mabaleshwar in the summertime. Mera remembered the place being quite comfortable with cool high ceilings. It was just right for Baba. What about it? She asked Goer. We could ask the Rani. She won't refuse Baba. Baba turned and asked what they were whispering about. Mera said, Baba, when you stayed at Guru Prasad 6 years ago, you liked it there. It is nice and cool. It would be good for you because you can't move. Can't we arrange it with someone? That's a good idea, Baba said. We'll see about it. He went to the Mandali and discussed it, and it was arranged. So on 28th April, after staying in Ganeshkit for 10 days, they moved to Guru Prasad. Those days, Baba was not in a mood to give long darshans to many, Mehera recalled. His hip was too uncomfortable for him to sit up for long. Yet, that afternoon, Mehera continued. At 4 o'clock, visitors came. Among them was Baba's childhood friend Bailey's wife, Goher Irani, and her sister Dolly Bastani. Hmm. We thought, my God, the very first day? It started already. We had to prepare Baba's room. We were just waiting for these people to leave. We tried to get rid of them. Did you see Baba yet? Dr. Goer asked. Yes, they said. Baba told us to come here to the women's side. Then Baba came and told the visitors it was time to leave. The women breathed a sigh of relief. Guru Prasad did prove to be cooler than Ganesh Kid. It was so nice, Mehera said. There was a lovely cool draft on the broad porch. There was a veranda on 3 sides. Baba was comfortable, and we were happy at Guru Prasad. One didn't feel warm at night. There were ventilators high up on the wall, which were kept open. Our bedrooms faced west, and the mandalis faced east, so we got the breeze. Guru Prasad, however, had one drawback. It was very noisy. By 9 or 9:30 p.m., everyone was in bed. The windows in their room faced the back side of the house. That day was a Hindu holiday, and drums and music blared so loudly from nearby temple that the women could not sleep. They thought Baba too would be annoyed. They had suggested he move here after all, and now he would not be able to sleep. The drums beat on and on throughout the night and did not stop until 5 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow morning, Baba will definitely scold us, they fretted. Nervously, Goher waited on the veranda outside Baba's room and waylaid Savak in the morning. As soon as he stepped out of Baba's room from his night watch. Did Baba sleep last night? She asked anxiously. I don't know, Savak replied. But one thing I do know. This place is full of bedbugs. I was catching the buggers all night. Savak said that the bedbugs were coming from the cracks in the baseboard and crawling towards Baba's bed. Goa reported this to Mehera. Now they were even more worried. All this noise and bedbugs too? Baba will want to leave for sure. At 6:15 or 6:30 a.m., Baba pressed an electrical bell for the women to come to his room. In the morning, we were very worried because we knew Baba could not have slept at all. When the mandali left, we went to Baba's room on tiptoes, thinking that Baba had not been comfortable all night and had not slept. Mehera entered first as usual. Baba kissed her good morning and asked whether she had slept. The others came inside. Baba, did you rest? She asked. Very well, he declared. Mehera could not believe it. You can imagine how happy we were that Baba wasn't disturbed and the bedbugs didn't bite him. Really, Baba, you rested well? She asked skeptically. Yes, why? There were so many drums. The music was so loud. We couldn't sleep a wink. We thought you wouldn't be able to sleep. Baba's room was in front, so the noise had been muffled somewhat. Later, when Baba was with the Mandali, Mehera and Meru dealt with the bedbugs by drowning many in the wash basin. Goher sent for insecticides to spray the floorboards. Possibly the bedbugs had come from the bedding of the caretaker, who rested every afternoon in what was now Baba's room. As no one was staying in Guru Prasad, he opened the room and used it for his afternoon siesta. Fortunately, they were not in the bed Baba was using, as the woman had put another, better bed of suitable height from Brindra's house in that room, and a firm mattress on it with Baba's own linen. To help alleviate his hip pain, Goa gave Baba infrared light treatment in his bedroom before he came for breakfast. The other women came and went, having their breakfasts quickly, one by one or two by two. The women did not eat breakfast together then. Mera went along to the dining room for her breakfast, but Baba told the others, "Go and keep Mera company." So Mera went with her, and then the others, turn by turn. And on the side note, Goher used a portable electric light as there was an electric outlet close to Baba's bed for his infrared light treatment. As Baba stepped out of his bedroom, he held Mara's hand always, as there was a board marble threshold to step over. After coming to the dining room before sitting down for breakfast, Baba took a few rounds for exercise. The partition that usually separated the dining room and drawing room at the Guru Prasad had been placed near the wall so that the drawing and dining rooms were now one large room. Baba, holding Mara's hands, walked around the room. One more round, Baba said. That was the extent of his stroll. A basin was kept on a side table in one corner of the drawing room. Baba relaxed for a little while at the table and then stood and walked over to the basin. Sitting on a stool, Baba shaved using a safety razor and mirror. Mera combed his hair here also. Then Baba washed his face. Meru brought the pails of hot and cold water and mixed them to the right temperature, while Mera poured the water and handed him soap. Afterwards, Baba might return to the dining room table and chat with the women, or go directly to the mandali from the shaving corner. And on the side note, later when Baba began using an electric razor, he did not use the mirror to shave. Now that they were residing at Guru Prasad and had more room, Sunamasi and Koshit came for a 5-day visit. Katie too was permitted to come for a few days. Naja and Rano remained at Bindra House. Although by now Baba was walking without crutches, he was still in a lot of pain. As Mani wrote to Irene on 19 May, "As for Baba, we wonder when the pain will go. It is heartening to see him give a deep sigh when the pain is more intense, and to see him suffer in his eternal silence. Yet sometimes, when he is with the Mandali, we hear their laughter as he jokes with them or teases someone, and yet at other times he looks so tired." So, side note, occasionally the woman went to a drive with Baba. On 14 May, Baba sent Mera and the other women to pay their respects at Babajan's tomb. They took flowers and incense and bowed down and kissed her samadhi. Mera also kissed the life-size photograph of Babajan displayed there. Dr. Chatterjee advised Baba to walk slower than his usual quick gait, which would help with the pain. Mera wrote about this in a letter to Beryl on 28 May. Our beloved walking has much improved in spite of the pain, which continues, sometimes getting less and sometimes more. Our darling, like a good boy, obediently does as he is told to do, which he does only for a couple of days. Since lately, beloved walked much better. He goes out with a mandali in the garden and takes a slow walk along the driveway, a little while with the pram, then without the pram. It is wonderful to see our darling from a distance walking as before in his flowing sadra at the head of the group. Baba was the Baba was only able to stay at Guru Prasad for 1 month because the Maharani had already promised the bungalow to other guests. Her secretary offered to let Baba and his group use half the bungalow, but Baba did not wish to share it with anyone. Baba therefore moved back to Ganeshkit on Saturday, 1st June. Afterwards, in subsequent years, the Maharani never let anyone else use Guru Prasad while Baba was in residence. At Ganeshkit, Baba met his Pune lovers and held a poor program before returning to Marazad with all on the 10th. So thank you. I will stop here. It was
Thank you,
beautiful.
Mikal. Rosalie, do you care to read now? From Irene Coney Bear.
Yeah, Irene Coney Bear and an associate of hers named Frances Goldney were visiting India for several months. On 14th June, they arrived at Marazad and stayed there for 6 weeks. The ostensible purpose of their trip was to give Irene a chance to review with Baba the draft of her book, In Quest of Truth. Goldney was typing the manuscript. Lengthy discussions were held about the book, and it piqued Mara's curiosity. And the sidebar says Frances, Goldney's wife, Orla, joined them at Marazad. This was one of the few Baba books that I was thinking to read, Mara disclosed. I had a desire to read it, but I didn't say anything to Baba. One day there was some talk about it. Baba told me, don't read it, so I never did. The one book I was interested to read, Baba told me not to. The women referred to Irene Coney Bear affectionately as Connie, though at times they found her company irksome. She was too opinionated, Rano clarified. If you like arguments, Rano replied, The women referred to Irene Coney Bear affectionately as Connie, though at times they found her company irksome. She was too opinionated, Rano clarified. Was she stimulating to talk to? The author inquired, as Irene's writings reflect her to be an intellectual. Rano replied humorously, if you like arguments, Irene wanted to settle permanently in India, but didn't like the poverty, animals, and dust. So she went to South Africa and stayed with her former husband, Gerald Harvey. Mani described her to Irene Billow. Irene Coney Bear is to be with us for a few days before leaving for Durban. I love to see her with Baba. She is like a melting lamb. She loves Baba so wholeheartedly, but really, she can be as exasperating at times, so exasperating at times. She is constantly grousing about the Indians, even to their faces. Goldney's wife, Alla, was a different story. Alla was sweet and charming and spent her time at Marazad chatting with Mara. She and Mara shared a common love for gardening and for animals. She was not a Baba lover, Mara explained, so we did not discuss Baba much with her. She came to India to be with her husband. She told me about her life in the Faroe Islands, where they lived, describing how she shopped for whale blubber, which she cooked with. And the sidebar says, Goldney had had a Ford automobile shipped to India. Soon after breakfast on 23rd July 1957, he took Baba for a half-an-hour drive in it to Pimplegowan village. The next day, he drove Mehera and the women to Happy Valley. Once Alla spoke about her pet duck, who followed her everywhere. I thought she meant her dog, but Alla told me that she knew the duck was lost when she saw its feathers in the dustbin and knew it had been eaten. Baba liked her husband and remarked that he was a fine person. Once, years later, when the couple was driving overland from Japan to France, they came to Guru Prasad also, and Allah, talking very quickly, described all the places they had visited. June 1957 saw the arrival of 3 additional newcomers who were destined to become intimate members of Meher Baba's close circle of friends, of lovers. Bao Kalchuri had been staying with Baba for 4 years now, while his wife Rama, his 5-year-old daughter Sheila, and his infant son Mehernath were with Rama's parents in Madhya Pradesh. Now Baba instructed that they too come and live near him at the family quarters near Meherabad, where Mehera's mother, Dalit Mai, and Aunt Frani Masi had lived previously. When the Kalchuris came to Meherazad for the first time, they greeted Mani respectfully since she was Meher Baba's sister. Naja, being Meher Baba's cousin, received the same deferential greeting. Then Meru, Adi Rani's niece. But when Mehera appeared, they did not know anything about her. They could see by her expression that she was not pleased, perhaps because they had not been introduced to her first. After this incident, at Baba's instructions, Mani spoke privately with Rama in Erish's room and explained Mehera's role. Baba wanted the Kalchuris to clearly understand that Mehera, whenever they visited Meherazad, they were to greet Mehera first. Even if you see me on the men's side.
Oh, you skipped a line, by the way.
Someone's not muted.
Yeah, you skipped a line, Rosalie.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
Okay, Baba wanted the Kalchuris to clearly understand. Was it before that? No.
That's it exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
To clearly understand that Mehera was the closest and most important one to him. It was Baba's wish that whenever they visited Meherazad, they were to greet Mehera first. Even if you see me on the men's side, Mani outlined. When we meet on the veranda of the house, I will pretend that I am seeing you for the first time. Little Sheila was confused after meeting so many new faces and asked her father which of the women was Mehera. Bao was unable to describe her. He had never seen Mehera, and no photos of her were ever displayed or circulated during Meher Baba's lifetime, outside of a very few close women lovers. Baba wished to call the family to Meherazad often, and he wanted Mehera's heartfelt approval. To ensure this, Baba instructed Mani and Goher to remind the Kalchuris that when they first arrive, they should pay attention to Mehera alone, to greet her even before himself, and to show Mehera how happy they are to see her, which they always did. Narina Machabelli died on 15th June at Yupon Dunes, Myrtle Beach, the house where Baba and Mehera had recovered after the accident in Oklahoma. Baba cabled Kitty and Elizabeth, "Be happy, my very dear Narina has come to live with me forever." Narina's body was cremated and her ashes sent to India and interred on Mehrabad Hill, according to Baba's wishes. The sidebar says, Narina's tombstone reads, "Narina was and will ever remain Baba's." Sarosh had visited Baba at Meherazad before Baba's recent summer trip to Pune. He had many friends in the army. And the sidebar says, Ahmednagar has a large military presence. Since the prestigious Armored Corps Center is there, as well as other Armored Corps divisions. Wow. Sarosh had visited Baba. Sarosh had visited Baba at Meherazad before Baba's recent summer trip to Pune. He had many friends in the army, Sheba being that's a horse, Sheba being a thoroughbred.
That's right.
It's just there somehow. Anyway, that was Baba's horse, Sheba. Sarosh had suggested that now that Baba was again residing at Meherazad, it would be better for the horse to be given to the military riding school. Baba initially said no to the proposal, as he felt that Mehera would worry. When Baba came to the women's side for lunch, Mehera said she had heard from Goher about the idea. Baba said, "I told Sarosh no, because you will worry." She assured him, "No, Baba, I won't. If Sheba has a good stable and exercise, it is a good idea. She isn't getting enough exercise here. She's a grown-up horse now. All Sheba will do here is eat and get fat." Baba said, "All right, next time Sarosh comes, I will tell him." Baba did so, but instructed Sarosh to take Sheba away when Baba was not present. The horse should be removed only after he had left for Pune.
Read the sidebar there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An elderly groom rode Sheba at Meherazad, but he had to take her far away to a level field to run her, walk her. All right. Okay, all right. All Sheba will do here is eat and get fat. All right, Baba said. Next time Sarosh comes, I will tell him. Baba did so, but instructed Sarosh to take Sheba away when Baba was not present. The horse should be removed only after he had left for Pune. The sidebar says Sheba was taken away on 17th April 1957, and the groom returned to Satara. When they returned to Meherazad, Mehera and the women went to the military riding school one day to see how Sheba was doing. They took with them her favorite treats. Mehera brought mangoes, Rano dried chapatis, Goher tea leaves. Whoops. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I have to get my screen back. Wait a minute. Come on, Baba. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is when I like reading from the book. Back to the meeting. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Okay. So they brought her snacks, and then Goher brought her tea leaves, Rano dried chapatis, and so on. On the way, the women warned Mehera not to try the koti trick, as Sheba might not remember and might shy from her. When they got to the stable, though, Mehera said, Koti, and Sheba put out her muzzle to kiss. Sheba ate the snacks, including the pits of the mangoes. Mehera tried to pull the large pits out of her mouth. Enough, Sheba, she said in mock anger. Don't be greedy. Some time later, Sheba was even entered into a race in Pune, although she did not see it. They were told that the entire grandstand stood cheering, Sheba, Sheba, and the filly won the race despite being given a handicap. Mehera described the incident in a letter to Irene. After we came to Meherazad, it was very impractical to keep Sheba. So she was presented to the military riding school. After some months, we went to see her. She had not forgotten us, nor how to kiss. We took with us all her favorite tidbits she used to love: kadak, dried chapatis, ripe mango, dried tea leaves, biscuits. The people at the stable were amazed at the spectacle to see Sheba eagerly stretch her neck in exchange for kisses in return for tidbits. The riding school authorities related her speed and entered her for racing. I have a picture of her running the race. She was given a handicap, and yet she won the race by a length. At the grandstand, a whole lot of military persons were there to cheer her. When they saw her win, they cheered and were proud to see their colors come first among the 14 horses that raced with her. When news of Sheba's victory reached them, Mehera remarked to Baba, "It is you who gave Sheba the energy to win." She reminded him, "When Sheba was 2 years old, I asked you if I should stop giving her one seer of milk every day, and you said to continue." Baba smiled and said, "She came out first because she is your horse." The sidebar says Sarosh had witnessed the race and won a few hundred rupees on a bet he placed on Sheba to win. Once, many years before at Meherabad, Baba had been presented with a gold watch, which he told Mehera to keep. When Sheba won the race, Baba instructed Mehera to have the gold watch sent to Colonel Soli Padamji, the jockey who rode Sheba. Mera had put the watch away and kept it all these years, but now it was given to the lucky jockey through Sarosh. Mani, too, had recently won a gold watch. While in Satara, she had entered a limerick writing contest for a brand of toothpaste among thousands of contestants from all over the country. Mani's entry was chosen the winner, and Goher had collected the watch when they were in Pune. As per Baba's wish, a Baba lover bought it, and the proceeds, rupees 1,000, were utilized for the February poor program at Marisat.
Be interesting to know what her limerick was.
Yeah, she is so extremely clever. That's failing that they didn't put it in here. She probably remembered it too. Alla and Francis Goldney, August 1957.
Alla looks very patrician.
Yeah,
And Baba liked Francis very much, thought he was a good person.
yeah. Wow, it's a nice picture.
Oh, there's
Sweet.
Irene in the middle next to Mara.
Irene Coney Bear. Look at her with the pearls on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, Goher's starting to look elderly.
Well, she
Happens
it
to
was
all of
rough.
us.
It was rough being Baba's doctor, let me tell you. She didn't even like to give him a shot. She didn't want to inflict any pain on him,
Mm.
and yet Baba had to suffer. So that's his work. So I she was an angel of a doctor. Oh my lord, she gave me a gamma globulin shot one time, and I didn't feel the needle go in or out, and that's one painful shot. I worked in the medical area. Yeah, she was a extraordinary doctor.
Uh-huh.
Marazad, June 1957. Meru, Goher, Irene Coneybear, Mera, Rano, Mani, and Booty. Booty was Mustan's mother,
Oh.
and Naja. Yeah, uh, and Mustan's the one that after Baba died, Mustan stopped eating. He loved Baba so much he just stopped eating, and then he died
Hmm.
shortly after. Uh, wow. Uh, is that Mustang?
It's probably Booty. Yeah,
Is
it
that
is.
Booty? It's Booty.
Yeah. Hmm.
Well, like mother, like son, I guess.
Hmm.
Wow, she's beautiful. 1955 or 56. Summer in Pune. Wow. Wow. Well, I guess I got Mustang pretty late because this is Booty, 1955 to 56. Well, and then he was a little puppy. Wow.
I like those that skinny tree in the background.
Is it a tree?
I'm assuming it's
It
a
almost looks
cypress.
like something that's decorated,
Uh-huh. Could be. Yeah,
like
maybe.
something spiraling with a declaration. Yeah. Mara loved gardening, and Mara was trying to create a, Baba's favorite flower was a marigold. She was trying to create a white marigold by saving the lightest colored marigold.
Oh, there's Baba with those short crutches.
Yeah, I tell you, this volume through is all pain. It was just after that Satara accident, pain, pain, pain. It's hard for me to read it. I read it many times, but it's just a rough one. The Indra house is in Pune. That was Erich's family's house in Pune.
So this one would be after the the Prague accident.
What's that?
If it's 1952, September 1952, it would be after the Prague accident.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Massages and chiropractic treatment. Wow. At Marazad, Baba had resumed sleeping in his bedroom upstairs, even though his hip continued to trouble him. No, we're back to 56. That picture was out of place.
Evidently, or the caption might have been a mistake. We don't know.
That's true.
Yeah, because
Quote, I'm longing for the time when I can write that Baba's pain has left him, but I'm afraid I cannot yet do so. How we dislike that pain, but the pain seems too fond of Baba to want to leave him. And who can blame it for that? All the same, we hope it will soon go. At least now there is no more use for the wheelchair and crutches, thank God. In fact, Baba's injury was more serious than anyone had realized. Dr. Duncan had sent Baba's x rays to Dr. Reginald Watson Jones, the specialist in London, consulted after the first accident. After examining the x rays, the doctor thought it likely that Baba's hip was dislocated. Baba had recently announced that he would hold a joint. Interesting, we're talking about joints. He would hold a joint East West Sahavas program in February 1958. But now he changed his plans and decided instead to hold two separate Sahavas, Sahavas, one in the East and one in the West. In July, Mani informed Kitty and Elizabeth about the postponement of the program. It is with a very heavy heart that I write this, and with a deep prayer that the next letter will be full of hope and cheer. On the 24th, we sent a cable to Fredella Winterfeld to inform Energy, Florsheim, to postpone signing the airline charter agreement and also the sending of love gifts till she heard from me, and that an explanatory letter would follow. As it was not possible to write it sooner, and knowing how anxiously it would be awaited, am sending cable to Energy saying, posting explanation today. So now here is the clarification for the cable of the 24th and the present situation for information of all Baba lovers concerned. The cause of Baba having this persistent pain came to light in recent x-rays showing development of osteoarthritis in the joint, a condition expected to be fairly inevitable after such much injury, particularly in patients over 50. However, the doctors, noting with satisfaction the progress so far, were hoping it would not occur, as this condition is liable to grow rapidly, causing increasing pain and immobility. Goher was deeply worried and decided to invite the opinion of a specialist in London, an orthopedic surgeon who is one of the foremost authorities on the subject. He was consulted through Baba Lovers in London, Tom and Dorothy Hopkinson, and we sent a detailed history and x-rays. His report has left us heartbroken, for it is unfavorably contradictory to the opinions of surgeons here so far attending the case, who were on the lookout for the possibility of a dislocation and were satisfied there was none. The London specialist's opinion is that the injury has been a most severe fracture dislocation of the hip joint. He says a major operation is absolutely essential and no lesser treatment would help in any way without an operation. The pain and stiffness would keep on increasing. Through the initial shock of all this, many early remarks of Beloved became suddenly clear and fell into place. It seems impossible even to think that Baba might have to go through it all again. To think that all this suffering of months has been, as it were, at least from our human point of view, wasted. Cables have been going back and forth to and from Dorothy Hopkinson. Beloved does not wish the Sahabas postponed unless it is absolutely inevitable. And London was asked if the operation can possibly be postponed to March 58. The reply was operation can wait till March, provided understood delay increases difficulties. In the meantime, its surgeons here have not been able to agree there is dislocation. This has raised a slight hope that the London specialist's diagnosis, considering he has not had the advantage of being able to examine Baba personally, may possibly stand reconfirming. Therefore, the x-rays are being shown to other eminent orthopedic surgeons for final confirmation, and we await their opinion. That is how the matter stands at present. Hence, until all this is cleared up and definitely decided, we have asked Energy Florsheim to hold pending the charter contract and also not send us the love gifts till we give the word. We will cable her the final decision as soon as known. Baba wishes me to emphasize the Sahabas will not be canceled. For the above mentioned reasons, it might be postponed. But even the postponement is not definite. And as soon as it can be decided, after hearing other doctors' opinions, etc., we'll let you know. Baba's love to you, each and all of his dear family. Baba lovers may write to Baba directly if they wish, but expecting no reply. It will also not be possible for me to write separately, but shall keep sending beloved's news there through you as usual. With heaps of love as always, Mani. Please note, according to Baba's wishes, dear Mehera has not been informed in full of all this, except that we await various expert opinions from abroad. And Baba will break it to her gently later, only when definitely confirmed and necessary. Hence, those writing to Mehera should please remember not to mention about it. Love, Mani. Also, except for the intimate ones, this has not been given out generally to Baba lovers in India. It will not be done till after final confirmation. Baba returned to Ganeshkan with the women on 14 August to take further treatment for his hip. It is sad to see him suffer, Mani wrote to Irene, while we can only look on helplessly, knowing it is all in his hands. Even the doctors cannot do anything till it is his wish. And the sidebar says Rano and Naja remained at Bindra House. Pune was very crowded then, for not only a number of festival occasions in a row, but it is also the racing season. Sometimes when they take the horses out for exercises, they take them out past our cottage. You can imagine how excitedly Mehera and we rush out to watch them. I type on the veranda, as usual, and look at the lovely rose vines on the lattice work. One day, Baba took the women to the races. Mehera, who loved horses, was thrilled. Baba took us to the race course when the races were running. We took the car near the rails and stood by the railing. We did not go into the grandstands. We bought race books that told us which horses were running. Baba didn't step out of the car, but stayed inside. He told us to watch from the railing. As the horses were being paraded, I told Baba, the horses are just coming now. Mani, Meru, and I picked a horse just to see who would win. I chose Mogul King. Baba gestured. Good. The race began. We were excited, everyone shouting, but Mogul King came in last. Mani and Meru teased me. Look at your Mogul King. He can't even keep up with the other horses. Baba also had a good laugh. Baba let us watch 2 or 3 races, not all of them. Twice Baba took us to the races. Gaimai's family came along the second time. After staying in Pune for 2 weeks, they returned to Meherazad on 6th September. Baba continued to sleep in the bedroom downstairs and had his dinner there also. Lunch was served in the living room. Baba sat on the sofa settee, his plate of rice and dal on a TV tray, which is still kept there. Mehera spread a sheet and napkin over Baba to prevent food from falling on the carpet and served him. while Mani read to him as he relaxed on the gadi. Meherji, who previously dealt in carpets from Persia, had given Baba the carpet in the living room when the new house was built. He himself always removed his sandals before stepping on the carpet to keep it clean. The women sat on it, and Khorshid slept there when she visited. Mehera asked once, Baba, why do you take off your chappals? You don't need to, but he always did. Above Baba's sofa in the living room is a garland with pictures of the 5 perfect masters. Someone from Andhra had presented it to Baba, who told Mehera to hang it on a nail in that particular spot above his gadi. Often, when Baba was seated on the sofa, he touched Baba Jan's picture on the garland and then his forehead, as if remembering Baba Jan and bowing down to her in homage. The sidebar says, the garland remained there until after Baba dropped his body, when it was framed and rehung in the same position. A badge with Baba Jan's photo was also kept near Baba's bed in the bedroom downstairs, along with one of Sai Baba. Once, when Baba was seated in Mandali Hall, Mani brought an enlargement of Baba Jan's photo that Behram, his brother, had made. She wanted Baba to touch it before sending it to someone in the West. Baba looked at the photo with an extremely loving expression, and then he bowed to it by placing his head on Baba Jan's feet in the picture. Mani changed her mind and decided to keep the photograph. And the sidebar says, Mani kept the photo for many years before giving it to Harvey Roberts after Baba dropped his body. Baba Jan, Mehera reflected, Baba Jan had so much love for Baba. She had been waiting for years under the neem tree for the right moment. She never allowed anyone to touch her. She never liked it. Yet with Baba, she would tell him to scratch her back. She would sit for hours till the early hours of the morning. Baba once told me that when Baba Jan said to stop scratching her back, he wouldn't be able to uncurl his fingers. They had become so stiff from scratching. He had to massage his fingers to straighten them. The men Mandali at Meherazad sometimes felt as if they were the women Mandali's servants, Bao candidly once remarked. But at times, the women also looked after the men. For instance, Pendu had lived at Meherabad previously, but after the second accident, in which he was so seriously injured, Naja, his sister, wanted him at Meherazad, where she could nurse him, so Pendu began staying there. At the end of September, Baba took the men and women on a joint outing. Adi Sr. asked Baba if he wanted to come to the circus, Mehera recounted. This circus, which was being held on open grounds in Ahmednagar, had already run for many days and was to leave in a few days. Baba asked us if we would like to go. We said yes. We went with Baba, who was seated with us Because the circus had run for many days, there was not much rush, and it wasn't full. Mani continued. Baba took us to the circus, but he didn't want to be recognized. He put on 2 scarves and wrapped them around his head. We went in when it was just about to start, so we wouldn't be seen by so many others who might recognize Baba. Rickety chairs had been placed in a semicircle, not anything like grand circuses we had been to in Bombay. This was a small country circus. It was a meager affair with just a small tent, a few animals, and a dirt floor. We sat in the front row so the others in back wouldn't see Baba so much. The circus began, a homey atmosphere run by a family. We liked it. The lion or tiger was so tame he had to be prodded onto the set by an old man. Then came a smiling, brave girl who stuck her head in the tiger's mouth. After the audience had already seen the animal's apathy and tameness, Mehera said Baba liked it, the clowns especially. A teenage girl stuck her head in a tiger's mouth. A woman rode a motorcycle round a big cage. Young girls did bicycle tricks. The last act was lovely. A huge elephant came in, holding a big garland in its trunk. Mani said, Baba liked the elephant circling round, catching each other's tails with their trunks. We thought this was the last act, but when the biggest elephant came out, we quickly sat back down. Baba, too. The elephant was enormous. In her uplifted trunk was a beautiful garland. The elephant's eyes were very expressive. The owner himself was leading her. They came on stage. Instead of stopping, they were turning and coming towards where we were. Mehera said, we couldn't believe it and wondered what trick the elephant was going to do with the garland. Mani said, Baba was cornered. He looked at us as if to say, the jig is up. The owner stood, took the garland from the elephant's trunk, stepped off the stage, and garlanded Baba. Mehera said, all said Baba's Jay. We all stood up and started clapping. Mani said, Baba smiled and said how happy he was, how wonderful the circus was. Then he turned round and gave us a look. Let's get out of here. And, and we quickly exited. We went so fast to the car that we were stumbling over each other. On 8 October, Baba was driven to Bombay with the women for hip massage therapy. Baba rode in the back seat by the window, Mehera in the middle, and Mani next to her. He and the women stayed at Ashiana, that's Arnavas's house, for 3 weeks. But Baba took the massages only the first week. Arnavas and Katie stayed with them, and Nagu, Khorshid, and Sunamasi visited often. The men, Erich, Bao, Baidu, Jal, occupied a different apartment with Neriman. When the Mandali came to Ashiana, Mehera and the other women retreated to the bedrooms. But we never had to sit for long, Mehera said. Baba always finished his business quickly, meeting whoever had come. We talked to the Dadachanji women or to the small children, whoever was around. And the sidebar says Naja and Rano had been introduced, had been instructed to remain at Marazad. It was good they did. Gustaji took ill, and they helped Kaka nurse him until Gustaji passed away in his room on the afternoon of 30th October 1957. And I heard Baba had tears in his eyes when Gustaji passed. That morning in Bombay, Baba had unexpectedly told Arnavas to take Mehera and the other women to a matinee. When they returned home from the movie, The Three Musketeers, Baba called Goher and Arnavas to the sitting room and broke the news of Gustaji's passing, in turn asking them to break the news to Mehera and the others. It seemed that Baba had intentionally sent the women to the movie so that they would not be present when the news was received. Wow. Let's see. Mani said, even though the period of not mentioning any man's name was over, with Baba it was always changing according to his work. I still remember we had to refer in any story, talk, or conversation to Arnavas's husband, Nariman, as Mr. Arnavas. Mani joked, real women's lib. Meals were served on a rotating basis. The women sat at the dining table while Baba had his lunch, but they ate afterwards. When they finished and left the room, the men ate. By then it was time for tea and then dinner. Alu Kambada's aunt, Meherbai, Jafrabadwala, and Alu Talavia prepared delicious food for Baba and his group. Arnavas took the women on several excursions. They went to Dada's one day to see Carmen Massi's one-room apartment. Another day they went to see the 5-star Taj Mahal Hotel. They went inside and looked around, but did not have anything to eat. We never went to Elephanta Caves across the Bombay harbor, Mehera remarked, but twice we rode in a motor launch at the gateway of India. We took some sandwiches with us. Arnavas liked to give us some fun. The second time, we didn't have a picnic. We only went for a ride on the water. They went shopping too, and once stopped and drank coconut water from a sidewalk vendor. Mehera reminisced, in the old days, Bombay was full of coconut palms. One year, Anivas read that a grand circus was in town and took the women. They always saw several films. The first time they went to the movies, Mehera was unprepared for the air conditioning and felt cold. Next time, wait a minute. Next time she remembered to bring her jacket. Sometimes Baba went with them for a drive. At stoplights, people came up to their cars selling things. Naphthalene balls, clothes hangers, and so on. The women often bought something. These street hawkers were better than beggars, Mani observed. At least these people were selling things, so we didn't mind helping them by buying things from them. Arnavas described these days with the women Mandali. When the women started coming to Bombay from 1948, Mehera and I sat for hours talking about different subjects. Baba told me to take them to the best of movies. Do you want me to read the sidebar?
Sure.
It's a little lower, though. There's one above I didn't read.
The one above is about Gustaji's past.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I should read that then.
I think you read it
I did?
already, but
Oh,
go
okay.
ahead and read it again if you like.
Okay. It was important because
Yeah.
he was Baba's shadow.
Yeah.
Naja and Rano had been instructed to remain at Marazad. It was good they did. Gustaji took ill, and they helped Kaka nurse him until Gustaji passed away in his room on the afternoon of 30 October 1957. That morning in Bombay, Baba had unexpectedly told Arnavas to take Mehera and the other women to movies, a matinee. When they returned from the movie, The Three Musketeers, Baba called Goher and Arnavas to the sitting room and broke the news of Gustaji's passing, in turn asking them to break the news to Mehera and the others. It seemed that Baba had intentionally sent the women to the movies so that they would not be present when the news was received. And he did have, it brought tears to his eyes. So maybe that was part of it. And then it says Johnny Belinda, the movie, and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers were two films the women saw in Bombay, among others. Yeah. There's a whole list in, I think it's in volume 2 of Mehera-Meher, of the films. Okay, Baba told me to take them to the best of movies, to the seashore for picnics. They had breakfast in a hotel and went to the movies. The movies were so crowded. The other women protected Mehera so no one would touch her. She was sitting amidst a full audience. In Nagar, they had arranged special shows, but here it was a public cinema. Mehera was more open. This now was quite a different atmosphere. Mehera was more open. She was talking more. She was freer. She was like one of us. We were all free with one another. Whenever we went out to the movies, I gave them my good saris to wear. They had been so secluded, but now Baba wanted a complete change in them. When they were in the ashram, they were in their old selves. But when they went out, they would be in that mood. I encouraged them to dress in their best, since they never had the chance. So when I gave them the best of my saris, Mehera very happily wore one. There was a complete change of everything, even food. They were complete vegetarians. But when they came to Bombay, Baba said I could give them anything. So I used to give them non vegetarian food. I specially ordered different dishes that I knew they didn't get a chance to eat in the ashram. If I took them to a restaurant or for a picnic, Baba wanted Mehera to mix and be happy and relax. Baba knew that slowly, gradually, she also had to play a part later. During their stay at Ashiana, Arnavas's young nephew, Merwan Mistry, sang Que Sera Sera, and how much is that doggy in the window? Woof! For Baba and the women. On the evening of 5th October, an elderly messenger with a ukulele was called up to the apartment to perform. Baba sat on the divan, the men mandali around him, while the women stood in another room. The musician, a tall Goanese Christian, sang a few Negro spirituals in a deep, rich, haunting voice. Mani related, and also Begin the Beguine. He was so drawn to Baba, he wanted to keep playing. Baba had Nariman pay him generously and remarked, "He sings with feeling. He is so fortunate to have sung for me." The singer returned on the 29th to sing an inspirational song titled He. That's a beautiful song, isn't it? I'm going to read the sidebar. He, written, that's a song in 1954 by Richard Mullen and Jack Jack Richards, has touching lyrics. Mehera thought, especially when sung in front of Baba, he lights every star that makes our darkness bright. These are the lyrics. He keeps watch all through each long and lonely night. He still finds the time to hear a child's first prayer. Saint or sinner, call and always find him there. Though it makes him sad to see the way we live, he'll always say, "I forgive." Those are the lyrics of that song. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, I think don't the Righteous Brothers didn't they used to do that song?
If Tina was here, she would be able to sing it.
Also, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a popular song. It's so beautiful. Baba had Nariman. Oh no. Once Khorshid, no. Once Khorshid brought a blind singer to entertain Baba with Qawwali songs. Another night, a concert was being held in the building opposite Ashiana. Baba sat up all night to hear the singing. Baba loved music so much. Mehera commented, he sat near the window listening to it. Being Diwali time, the city was festooned with colored lights. One night, Baba took a drive with the women to see the garishly decorated buildings and monuments. Another night, Khorshid brought Diwali fireworks to Ashiana. Everyone stepped outside onto the terrace to watch the fun. Baba and Sunamasi sat in chairs, and the other women stood as Khorshid went to the far end of the terrace to light the sparklers. What next? Baba asked. Khorshid lit a firecracker that made a small bang. After one or two more of these, Baba held up his hand and said, Enough. There is only one more left, Khorshid pleaded. And the man who sold them to me said it was the best. It is a beautiful fountain. Baba said, All right. And Khorshid lit it. A thunderous roar stunned and momentarily deafened us as flying sparks and bits of debris rained upon them. They shouted and scurried to get back into the apartment. Instead of a fountain, it turned out to be a atom bomb, atom cherry bomb. Baba lambasted Khorshid. I said enough, but you wouldn't listen to me. But the man told me it was a fountain, Khorshid said, feeling guilty. It looked like a fountain. Baba joked. Did you see Sunamasi? You all think she is old and has a heart condition? All of you were running here and there, but she didn't even bat an eye. There's no need to worry about her health. He reassured Khorshid she has a very strong heart. She'll live for a long time. Baba and the women were driven back to Ahmednagar on Saturday in November. The sidebar says Baba's prediction proved correct. Sunamasi died on the 3rd of April, 1973. Wow. Her 89th birthday. Wow.
Yeah. Thank you, Rosalie. That was awesome.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was fun. Well, there's one more sentence.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll read it next time because I
Next time,
just
yeah.
yeah.